So Naz, we're here to talk about the SDI, the Strength Deployment Inventory. So we've both been through the cohort. What was your thought about the SDI when it was first introduced as something we were going to do?
Yeah, so I was introduced to it when I took the ALDP program last year. And initially, to be honest, I was really skeptical of it. I'm very skeptical of these kind of survey tools to begin with. So I looked it up to say, what is it actually telling me? Is it actually telling me anything useful? Is it a valid instrument? Is it reliable? And then when I looked it up, I'm like, actually, there's not a lot of evidence about that. So do I really want to take it? And I decided to take it because there was a whole session on it. So initially, I really thought, no, this is just something that's, going to sit on my desktop. I'm never going to look at it again.
Right.
But then when I did it, it was kind of remarkable in that it seemed very accurate about who I was as a person. It tells you a little bit about your motivational value systems. And mine ended up being assertive nurturing, which the rest of you, as we're talking to you about it, you will see that it translates to some colors, and mine is red, blue, and you will notice that. And I thought, well, actually, that is like me. And so I think there is some value in looking at it. It is kind of helpful as a way to kind of think about yourself and what your motivational values are. I still have a lot of questions about it. What did you think, Tom, when you did yours?
I heard good things about it, so I was less sort of skeptical, but I still had some questions about it, and I could certainly sense skepticism in the room amongst some of the rest of the cohort. And I think one of the important things to keep in mind is that while it doesn't have a sort of statistical reliability of a certain type, it does have what some psychologists will call explorational value or explorational validity, in that as a heuristic tool of self-reflection and exploration, it definitely has value there that's been demonstrated, and was certainly demonstrated for me because, like you, I found I got back a really enlightening sort of image of myself, which was cohering and nurturing cohering. Was that what I was? I'm in the hub.
I definitely see you as a hub, and I see you
I'm in what's called the hub. So a lot of these things, so there's a flexibility, ability to try new things, a lot of deep listening and things that are and at the same time, though, the hub itself is not entirely neutral. I also tended towards being more focused on performance than necessarily people, and even process before people. So, and I think of myself as a real people person. This really helped me understand a crisis that I was in the middle of, where we had actually made a difficult decision through a job reorganization to let someone go. And I was stunned by the amount of pushback I was getting and the amount of anger amongst staff that we'd made this decision. And to me, it seemed like a no-brainer. We're having performance issues and the structure's not right. And so, which leads to the next question. So I found it really valuable in terms of giving me a reflection back of myself. The question then is, what do you do with it? Does it just sit on your desk and go, oh, that's nice, that kind of says what I'm like? Or how does it become something that you can apply and then use?
Yeah, so I think that's, a lot of questions that I have that hopefully we'll talk about when we do this with the cohort in January. One of the things that I really want to know is, okay, so I know this about myself, but how do I use it when I'm talking to somebody else? How do I use it when I'm talking to somebody I don't really like very much and who has a very different motivational value system than mine, or one where I don't even know anything about them? How do I figure out what's motivating them? What are their values? So these are some of the questions that I think we're going to spend some time in January talking about how we use it.
Yeah.
There are other questions around, is it sensitive to learning? So after we've been through the ALDP program, we're learning how to be a certain kind of leader. Does that mean that will change when I do it again? So I'm actually going to do it again this time around and see if there's been any change in my value system. I don't think there will be, but we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to having, a really dynamic, active kind of discussion with the cohort and talk about all these issues. How do we use it? When can't we use it? And maybe even do some scenario and role playing with you Tom.
Perhaps, yeah.
And,
It certainly helped me in a very tangible way that I realized I needed to do even more listening to people who were responding in ways that I didn't expect, right? Like I said, when I thought, well, it's obvious everyone's going to understand that this move, as much as it's meant someone has had to leave our department, is going to make us stronger on a performance level. I had to slow down and spend some time letting people talk about the deep feelings they were having about it, because they were coming from a different mindset. So I think I had some really concrete applications. And yes, we'll talk more about how does that work, and what are the implications of what do you do with this tool once you've had a chance to explore it. So
yeah,
please join us.
Please join us. Keep an open mind. I think it will
Yep.
be a really fun session, and we'll see you all in January. It'll be great.
See ya.
Bye.